Hey family, it's Rhae and I'm back with another word. I pray that you guys have been blessed. So I have another word for you guys, and this word comes from a dream that the Lord gave me on October 14th. The title of this word is a warm embrace. And so in this dream, I was in a bathroom and I was in a stall with the door locked. I remember I kept trying to put the seat covers over the toilet seat, so you know those seats that you put on top of the toilet seat, you can sit down, the seat covers. And so, but they were too small, so they kept falling into the toilet. Then eventually I looked over to my right and I saw in the corner that there were more toilet seat covers, and these fit the seat perfectly. So the first seat covers were those opaque or like white looking ones, and the ones and those kept falling in. So when I looked over to my right, I saw some seat covers, and these were transparent, they were clear. And when I put these on top of the toilet seat, they fit perfectly. I placed them on the seat and then I'm going to use the bathroom. And so as I was like cleaning up and getting ready to walk out of the stall, I saw a man. He looked like he had on like security guard attire, and he was approaching the stall that I was in. He came in. I remember he said something. Whatever he was saying has to do with threats. What he said specifically has to do with like past trauma for me, like childhood trauma. I saw myself hug him, and he began to break down and cry, and then I woke up. These are some things that the Lord highlighted to me concerning this dream. So the first was the bathroom, and in this instance, this dream, the bathroom was representative of like vulnerability, a place of vulnerability. The next was the toilet seat cover. So like I said, the first one was like opaque, like the white ones, those kept falling into the toilet, and the ones that were clear, transparent, those fit, and I was able to sit down and use the bathroom. And the next one was using the bathroom, which is symbolic of like releasing and relief. And the security guard, which is indicative of like protection against intruders or damage. It implies safety and security. The hug, which was forgiveness and healing. Now I'm getting to the message. So there's two parts to this message. So the first one is reconciling trauma. So like I said, what it is that the man, the security guard, was speaking about had to do with a specific incident starting in childhood trauma, reconciling trauma. And so this could imply childhood trauma, like I said, sexual trauma, family trauma, relationship trauma, healing within, healing internally, and embracing it. So a hug, I kept getting the word embrace, embracing it in order to release it. So a lot of times we suppress things. Sometimes we intentionally run from them. We want to just forget about it, push it to the side, or push it down. You know, even our brains do it. Our brains will push back traumatic memories and things from our past. They'll push it way deep in the back of our mind that sometimes we forget they're there. Although we encounter the cycles that they tend to repeat in our lives, or certain situations where things will trigger our trauma, but it was not always evident that the trauma is still there. We don't always know, is what I'm trying to say. We don't always know that it has to do with our trauma, because sometimes we forget that it's there. Sometimes our brain has just pushed it so far back in our memory, try to exit out, try to block it out. So embracing it in order to release it, facing it in order to heal it. Okay. He also gave me this too. When it comes to embracing, back to when I hugged him and he began to cry, he began to break down. When you embrace it, instead of running, instead of trying to block it out, you embrace it. When you face it, it begins to break down. You take your power back. It begins to weaken that thing, that person, that experience, that memory. The effect that it has on you, it begins to weaken it. It loses its power over you. When you face it, it begins to lose its power over you. So that's taking back your strength, your power, self-esteem, confidence, worth, value, and your identity. That's reconciling trauma. So for some, the Lord will be working with you. The Lord, maybe he will connect you with someone to help you with that, help you with healing, help you with facing your traumas so that you can embrace it, heal from it, and close out that cycle. And then the next one was reuniting with someone from your past. So reconciling with someone from your past, and again, the embrace representing forgiveness. Whether this is for the purpose of healing only and you moving on with your life, you gotta move on separately, or reconciling to move forward together. This embrace is indicative of forgiveness, and it shows the power of forgiveness for yourself and also for them. Some people genuinely are repentant for the pain they've caused you, and it's weighing on them. When they come to you, your hug, your embrace, your expression and act of love and forgiveness will free them too. Like I said in the dream, the boy who walked in, he was speaking about the threat. He brought up the threat to me. It was something for me to face, but at the same time, I hugged him and he broke down and he started to cry. Your forgiveness, your warm embrace, you showing them this act of love will free them too. Okay? And again, closing out cycles. So the Lord led me to 3 different scriptures. And so the first one was Genesis 33:4, and it says, But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and hugged his neck and kissed him, and they wept for joy. The next was Genesis 45:4. And Joseph said to his brothers, "Please come closer to me." And they approached him, and he said, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt." And then skipping down to 14. Then he embraced his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. He kissed all his brothers and wept on them, and afterward his brothers talked with them. And the last one was 1 Peter 4:8, which says, "Above all, have fervent and unfailing love for one another, because love covers a multitude of sins. It overlooks unkindness and unselfishly seeks the best for others." So all three of those will be in the description box. Again, reconciling trauma, healing trauma from your past, healing past relationships, reconciling with people if that's something that the Lord has spoken to you about, reconciling with people, reconciling differences, healing those past relationships, whether these are people that the Lord is going to have you have to stay in your life or just to close out a cycle to move forward. But reconciling trauma, a warm embrace. So walk into this with an open heart. And if you need help with that, of course, seek the Lord and ask him to help you with forgiveness, to give you the strength to face these things, because they can be uncomfortable, to give you the strength to get through this phase, these cycles, in order to heal them so that you can step into your new. Take this word back to the Lord, of course. Test the Spirit and ask the Lord to confirm if this word is for you and to give you specific details, insight, and instructions, further clarity upon this word if it is for you. And if you know anyone who needs to hear this word, please feel free to share this word with them. Don't forget to like, comment, also subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified of any future uploads when I post. And I'll be back soon with another word.